Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the driver's seat of Storyboard OS. We're going to look at exactly how you, as the operator, run the Microdrama Factory ecosystem from the inside out, literally taking a raw, messy client idea and turning it into a fully monetizable, highly engaging 10-episode vertical series.
So picture this. A brand new client walks in the door and you're handed a massive stack of compliance rules and operational manuals. How on earth do you transform all that dry material into a flawless, continuous microdrama? And more importantly, how do you do it without breaking visual continuity or completely blowing your compute budget?
To pull this off, we're going to follow our standard operating pipeline. We'll quickly cover routing your new client, casting your AI actors, choosing the production path, storyboarding and animation, and finally, curation and merchandising. All right, let's get into phase one, routing your new client. This is basically the bedrock of your whole project.
As the director, using Storyboard OS, you're starting at stage 0, intake. You grab the raw materials, the business name, the products, the staff, the vibe. Then you absolutely have to lock down the world rules. You're setting up the universal constants here. Think Pillar 10, the philosophical obsession driving the story, Pillar 7, the thematic grammar, and Pillar 12, your strict never list of things that just cannot happen in this universe. These rules govern literally everything that follows.
Now here's your first big fork in the road as an operator. You always want to lean toward business-type routing if the profile natively fits what the client actually does, like a skill-based trade or a before and after service. But hey, if it doesn't fit cleanly, no problem. You fall back to mood or trope routing. That's for pure entertainment where you just keep the actual business integration incredibly light touch.
Let's make this concrete. Say an auto repair shop hires you. They route perfectly to the business type profile UE19, the underestimated expert, where proving their mechanical skill is the big payoff. A struggling family bookstore? That fits CB24, the comeback. But what about a custom jewelry shop that wants some intrigue? You'd route them to the mood-based GM10, the gothic melodramatist profile. Suddenly, their custom ring is the smoking gun in a romantic betrayal. You're basically matching their business model directly to a proven narrative engine.
Okay, phase two, casting your AI actors. It's time to put some actual faces to this brand new world.
This step is all about smart resource allocation. You've got to know when to drop resources on a trained Higgsfield soul versus spinning up a quick element. A soul takes 5 to 20 reference photos and about 10 minutes of compute training. You save those for your recurring season leads to guarantee bulletproof fidelity. An element, though, that's an instant, single-use reference, perfect for your one-off day players and background props.
Before you even think about hitting generate on a new face, you run stage 0.75, the casting call. You query the studio system's standing roster of up to 150 persistent AI actors. You filter them by typecasting and available career tier, and then you assign their exact existing asset ID to your new character Bible. Linking that specific ID is the absolute key to maintaining visual continuity.
Listen, these are your absolute non-negotiable invariants as a user. 1, never mint a fresh asset if you've already got a roster match. 2, and this is huge, never skip the fatigue check. Even AI stars turn into divas if they get overexposed. If you cast actors who are burnt out, you degraded the value of the whole studio system. If they're over the fatigue threshold, you skip them, period.
Moving right along to phase 3, choosing the production path. This dictates exactly how everything gets assembled. You've got 2 main lanes here. The cast first path is for custom season-long profiles or when the client hands you real-world photos. Here, you build out the character and location Bibles before a single word of script is written. Then you have the script first path. This is your volume workhorse. It leans hard on existing cached script templates where you're just swapping out variables for maximum efficiency.
Let's look at a real-world example. A bespoke tailor walks in and actually hands you photos of their real shop and staff. As the operator, you immediately trigger the cast first path. You process those exact photos into high-fidelity elements and trained souls, meaning every single thing you write downstream is going to inherit that incredible real-world accuracy. But flip the script. Let's say you sign an auto mechanic, and guess what? It's the 5th mechanic you've onboarded this month. You definitely do not start from scratch. You take the script first path. You grab the cached UE19 script template and just swap out the variables, the shop name, the specific service, the city. It makes the whole process incredibly fast, dirt cheap, and almost entirely automatic. This right here is the biggest time saver in the entire ecosystem.
All right, phase 4, storyboarding and animation.
This is where the magic happens and things actually get visual on the grid. You'll be leaning on the narrative framework of Pillar 14 stage logic. So entry, escalation, climax, and exit to build out your storyboard on a 4x4 or 5x5 grid. Then comes the real secret sauce. You carefully inject your locked element and soul IDs directly into the generation calls. You aren't just describing a character to the AI, you're compositing specific IDs straight into the prompt. That is how you guarantee absolute visual continuity frame after frame. Now, as an operator, I need you to memorize this lifeline. Always, always run the get cost true command before you commit. Animation is by far the most credit-intensive stage in this pipeline. Before you let the engine run wild and render an entire season, you run that cost check to keep your production strictly within budget. Don't learn that the hard way. To keep you from burning through cash and time, stick to the golden rules of production. If a character's face gets a little weird in episode 4, you do not rebuild the entire episode. No way. You isolate and regenerate that single affected panel using the correct ID. And never generate an asset if you already have it securely logged in your continuity Bible. And that brings us to our final phase, curation and merchandising, the capitalization stage. This is your last mile human review. You absolutely have to check everything against your Pillar 17 guardrails to ensure brand safety, like making sure the AI didn't accidentally name drop a real-world competitor. Once it's published, you execute Stage 6, the feedback write back. You tag the role, update the AI actor's fatigue score, and queue up their off-screen social media content. That's the secret to making your AI roster feel genuinely alive to the audience. During that review, you've got to ask yourself one brutal question. At what point does this stop being a story and just become a cheap commercial? If a client's business integration feels forced, you trim it out immediately. If you don't, you'll instantly tank your short-form audience's trust, and they will swipe right past you. When we talk business value, the math is beautiful. The client retains 100% ownership of their final videos, their brand IP, the script, and all their merchandise revenue. They own the show. The studio owns the cast. So while the client can go crazy selling t-shirts, graphic novels, or digital skins based on their series, you protect the studio's assets. You enforce a Disney or Marvel-grade likeness approval protocol so their merch doesn't ruin your actor's persona. And crucially, you maintain a strict technical shield so the client can never extract or retrain your underlying AI models. By running Storyboard OS, you're not just pumping out videos. You're playing God in a living, breathing ecosystem. Because the studio system is totally persistent, your AI stars go on to live complex, off-screen lives, keeping the memories and quirks of the jobs you just gave them. So the final question you're left with is, as their persona evolves, what role will your AI actor demand to play next?